The year was 1964, and America was in the midst of a cultural transformation. Rock and roll echoed from jukeboxes, teenagers crowded drive-ins, and a new generation wanted freedom on four wheels. For Ford Motor Company, the challenge was clear. Create a car that wasn't just transportation, but a symbol. A machine that captured the restless spirit of youth. Out of that desire, in secret design studios and under the glow of Detroit's fluorescent lights, a legend was born: the Ford Mustang. When it debuted at the New York World's Fair on April 17, 1964, the Mustang wasn't just a car, it was a phenomenon. The sleek lines, the long hood, the short rear deck, everything about it whispered speed and independence. Crowds swarmed the exhibit. Dealers across the country were flooded with orders. By the end of the first day, more than 22,000 Mustangs had been sold. It wasn't just a successful launch, it was a cultural earthquake. America had never seen anything like it. The Mustang was marketed as the car designed to be designed by you. Buyers could choose colors, interiors, and options that made the car feel personal. Whether you were a young professional, a suburban family, or a thrill-seeking teenager, there was a Mustang for you. It was affordable, starting at just over $2,300, but it looked like a dream machine. It was, in a sense, the democratization of cool. You didn't need to be rich to own a car that made you feel like a movie star. But the Mustang wasn't only about looks. Beneath the hood, it had enough muscle to satisfy those who craved performance. Options ranged from a modest inline-six to a roaring V8. And soon after, Carroll Shelby would take the Mustang and turn it into a racing legend with the Shelby GT350. Suddenly, the Mustang wasn't just the car you saw parked in driveways. It was the car dominating racetracks, proving that style could come with serious speed. The impact on American culture was immediate and overwhelming. Songs were written about it, magazines praised it, and Hollywood took notice. In 1968, Steve McQueen would chase down criminals through the streets of San Francisco in a dark green Mustang GT Fastback in the film Bullet, cementing the car's place in cinema history. But even before Hollywood adopted it, the Mustang had already conquered the hearts of everyday people. It became the car of first dates, road trips, and Friday night street races. It wasn't just transportation, it was freedom in metal form. In small towns, the Mustang became a statement. Young men and women polished the chrome until it gleamed in the streetlights, roaring engines down Main Street to the envy of everyone watching. Car clubs formed, and Mustang owners gathered not just to show off their machines, but to celebrate the shared identity the car had created. For the first time, a vehicle wasn't just a possession, it was part of who you were. Ford had struck gold, but the Mustang's success wasn't only about smart marketing or sleek design. It came at a time when America was changing. The country was young, energetic, and looking for symbols of independence. The Mustang became that symbol. It was the car of choice for the generation that didn't want to drive their parents' sedans. It was rebellious, but not reckless, stylish, but attainable, powerful, yet approachable. It walked the line perfectly. By the end of its first 18 months, Ford had sold over 1 million Mustangs, a record that no other car had ever achieved so quickly. It wasn't just a bestseller, it was a movement. The Mustang created an entirely new category in the automotive world: the pony car. Competitors scrambled to respond. Chevrolet introduced the Camaro, Dodge brought the Challenger, and Pontiac created the Firebird. All of them wanted a piece of the market the Mustang had invented. But no matter how many rivals entered the scene, the original always stood apart. And yet, beyond the numbers, beyond the sales and the marketing campaigns, the real story of the 1964 Mustang was emotional. People remember their first Mustang not the way they remember their first washing machine or refrigerator. They remember it like a first love. The smell of the interior, the feel of the steering wheel in their hands, the way the world blurred when they pressed the accelerator. It was a car that didn't just get you somewhere, it made the journey unforgettable. Even today, decades later, the 1964 Mustang is more than a classic car. It is an icon of American history, a rolling time machine that captures the optimism and freedom of the 1960s. Collectors restore them with devotion, enthusiasts tell stories of cruising highways long gone, and younger generations look at the car with awe, sensing that it belongs to a time when machines carried more than people. They carried dreams. Some say the secret to the Mustang's magic lies in its accessibility. It was never just a machine for the elite. It was for the kid who worked all summer mowing lawns to afford a down payment. It was for the young woman who wanted a car that turned heads when she pulled into the gas station. It was for the family man who wanted a stylish ride that didn't break the bank. In every driveway it entered, the Mustang brought with it the promise of something larger, the idea that freedom was possible, that adventure was waiting just beyond the horizon. In the end, the story of the 1964 Mustang is not just the story of a car, it's the story of America itself at a turning point, when ambition, style, and a thirst for freedom came together in steel and chrome. It was a car that became a legend, not because of what it was made of, but because of what it made people feel. And even now, when one rumbles down a quiet street and heads turn to watch, you can sense it. The spirit of 1964 still alive, still roaring, still free.